Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're doing resolving dilemmas. This is a little different than regular readings. There's a smaller amount of cards, but what we try to do is we try to look at particular energies, opposing or otherwise, and instead of looking at it from a broad perspective, we're going to zoom right into the minutia of it, right down to the minutia level, so that we can see particular points, which requires a bit of attention and perhaps some fine-tuning. So once we are able to do that and we can identify, we can navigate through the energy with least resistance. There's no telling what will come of this spearheading activity, but we will certainly find out when the cards are drawn as to where it will lead us. And with that, let's begin. We're going to start with Scorpio. Spirit, can we please have 3 cards for Scorpio regarding any type of dilemma that needs to be looked at? 3 cards, please, Spirit. Thank you. And here they are. 1, 2, 3. We have the 5 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, and the 2 of Cups, Scorpio. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance. And I really like that for you, Scorpio. I really do. So what we have is the 5 of Wands, 3 of Swords, and 2 of Cups. The 5 of Wands is about you building something. You're kind of in the in-between stage, Scorpio. You know, it could be conflict, but it could also be, you know, whatever struggles you've had to get to this point, you're certainly looking at where you were and where you are now. And it's hard to say what you're contemplating, whether it is, yes, you want to move forward in a positive direction, or no, you want to stop. The 5 of Wands represents experiences that you've had. Now, you wouldn't be where you're at today if it wasn't for all the experiences and interactions that you've had throughout your whole life. So having said that, we're going to move on to the center energy, which is the 3 of Swords. And I really like this for you, Scorpio. Even though the 3 of Swords is a challenging card, it's actually in the reverse, which tells me that you've done some work regarding your heart space. It could very well have been during those 2 eclipses, the one that we had at the end of April, which was the full moon, the moon in Taurus eclipse, right? And then we had the full moon eclipse in Scorpio, which really had us dig super deep. So I would imagine that this card being in the reverse, showing that you did do some wonderful work in detaching these strings that were attached to your heart and that was preventing you from moving forward. It looks to me on the surface that you have made some space in your heart chakra, which is a beautiful thing. What's coming up in the future spot is the 2 of Cups. This can be interpreted as, well, it could be your connection to spirit, number 1. It's a divine connection. So it could be your connection with your higher self, your better understanding of yourself, which could very well be with these 2 cards in the positions that they are, is that you're coming into yourself, which is a beautiful thing, right? It could also mean that you might be meeting somebody, but in any event, it really talks about issues of your heart, issues of your vitality, or I shouldn't say issues. What I should say, it's connected to that. We'll find out if it's issues or not. We'll find out if it's a particular person coming your way, but certainly does relate to relationships and how you, Scorpio, deal with them. And I like this because it shows you made space here, and when you make space, there's room for another cup, and you've already moved to 2 cups, which is a beautiful thing. It really does show progression. And again, with this 3 of Swords being in the reverse, you've apparently dealt with some pretty challenging connections between relationships and your heart and mind. On the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance, meaning Temperance is a number 5. It's a number 14. 1 and 4 is 5. So this could be representing this 5 position, but it speaks of being in harmony, in balance. It speaks of having an understanding that, you know, sometimes we feel super happy and things go super well. Other times we're kind of down and things don't go quite as well. But to have the balance is to understand that we go through life with ebbs and flows. And when we're feeling on the lower end, on the dark end, the shadow end, if you will, then you know that you can either just wait it out, or there are things that you can do to lift that and balance that energy out. The Temperance card, I don't know if you can see this, but there are angel wings. And here we have Source, the sun. Temperance is somebody who trusts in the guidance in all that they do. Now, I say in all that they do, they understand that fire and water make air. So that means that with fire, wands gives us opportunities to have experiences, and not all of them are going to be pleasant. And to have an unpleasant experience, one grows their space in their heart and their mind. And I really like that. Underneath that is the High Priestess. One second. And then the Sun. Oh, I really like that. And then the Tower. I really like this. Don't be frightened by the Tower. Every sign has been getting them. What I see here for you, Scorpio, is that the message is to see the sun. We're talking balance, right? There's dark and light. Envision the light source in your heart space. Tower would be more on the darker side. We'll find out more about that, and not to worry about it, but to balance it. And again, it's kind of like what I was talking about before, whereas balancing the opposing energies, whereas here you have the sun. It's the most happiest card in the tarot deck, and here we have the opposing, which is the Tower, which can be quite unsettling, right? It's about tearing down that which we thought was for us and starting over. I mean, it's on a continuum. It could be as strong or as weak, but it's still tearing down that which we believe, that which what we know, and starting over, right? So it has that connotation that's on a darker, shadowy side, even though I don't think it is, but people do take that. And this is really just talking about to envision yourself in the light, not hard times. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. And then let's get some cards, clarifiers. I'm going to use these. Can I get a couple of cards, clarifying cards for the Five of Wands, please, for Scorpio? Help us to understand the Five of Wands. Is it building, tearing up? Is it conflict? Let us know, Spirit, so that we can fine-tune this experience for Scorpio so they can adjust and maneuver safely within the energies. Too many cards. Thank you, Spirit. So the Five of Wands is clarified by the Five of Swords in reverse. The Two of Swords in reverse. Oh, we got two cards. The Five of Wands and the Ace of Swords. I find that rather interesting. We now have 3 fives. 5, 10, 15, which is toxicity. 1 second. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. This Five of Wands is talking about, this is not about building. Well, actually, it still could be about building, but it's about toxicity that's in your life. You're not being inquisitive. You're not choosing to be in a peaceful state. And the Five of Wands in reverse is about having another, this is the same card here, but it's in reverse. And along comes an Ace of Swords. So this really is talking about the conflicts, the challenges that you're facing, Scorpio. And it's about your identity and how you present yourself to the world. It's about your peace. Interesting. I want you to look at this Two of Swords. This is a faceless person, and each of her hands is a mask that are actually different in nature. And she's kneeling on the Two Swords. What this says to me is this is a person who knows who they are. There may be a choice that needs to be made, but the choice really is about yourself. And it's about who you want to be and how you want to be interpreted in the world. And it's in the reverse. And as is the Five of Swords, which tells me that you don't know who you are. It may be because of all the conflicts that's been going on, that you kind of lost yourself in these challenges that you've been facing. But the lesson here that's being told is the Two of Swords also can represent peace. By not choosing peace, by not knowing who you are, or being even inquisitive as to who you want to be, creates that conflict, does not allow you to have a particular perspective so that you can connect with spirit. This is an Ace of Swords. This is your own intelligence coming in. This is taking that Two of Swords and making it a 3. But they're all in reverse. And this is about closing the door. They add up to a 13. Which is the Death card. And that's about closing the door and moving through a portal, and almost like being reborn. And it makes sense, because who do you want to be, Scorpio? What is it that you want to do? Interestingly, if we add all of these, 1 second, it becomes a number 8, and it's about you, Scorpio. This really is about you figuring out who you are, what it is that you want to do, how you want to represent yourself in the world, and you want to be at peace with it. All right, let's move on to the 3 of, oh, here's the bottom of the deck. Wounded Warrior. Yeah, because of the battles and whatnot, you're just all beat up. You need to get out of your head Scorpio. Reconnect. Reconnect. 1 second. This is it. Connect to your roots. Who is it that you want to be, Scorpio? How do you want to present yourself in the world? And there's the Two of Cups, and we have it here as well. Right? We made room in our heart chakra for something new, and we made room for ourselves. But you're not moving in that direction. You seem a little stumped, that you're not quite sure. All right, Scorpio. Can we get a couple of clarification cards for the Three of Swords in reverse, please? Thank you. There we go. I love how tarot works. I really do. So the Three of Swords is clarified by the Three of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles, all in reverse. So what this says to me is that you did the work necessary, which we already spoke of in the opening, right? You did that work of the full moon in Scorpio a couple of weeks ago. You've put in order some previous experiences that were blocking you from the past. And that's what this Seven of Pentacles speaks of. It talks about doing the hard work and not really seeing, doing the work without really seeing the harvest is the best way I can put it. It's not that you didn't harvest, it's just that it took a bit of work for you to do. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Three of Swords, which is just, it took some time for you to do that healing. Three of Swords twice. So it says to me that, yes, you did that work, but it took a while. And it was painful for you. We have on the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Swords. This is rather interesting, and here's the Two of Pentacles, another two. What I find interesting here, Scorpio, is that you, by looking at your pain, you realize that you had a reservoir of love that perhaps you weren't recognizing before, which is beautiful. The Queen of Swords is almost the same as the Ace of Swords that was in reverse. So the work that you did literally turned this card because you were given an opportunity to reevaluate and try to put things in perspective. And I really like that for you. And the Two of Pentacles simply states, as does the Two of Swords, how do you want to present yourself? The Two of Pentacles is, here you are, this solid person, knowing that you have the two energies and you know how to balance it. And that's the same as this Temperance, right? And I really like that for you. Thank you. Can we please get a couple of clarification cards for the Two of Cups? There's one. Two of Wands, that's 222. That's sacred numbers, Scorpio, sacred numbers. You're doing something, you're working on something that's rather important for you. For your destiny, karma. Okay, Spirit, one more card, please. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, look at that. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So what's coming in, Scorpio, when you decide who you are and how you want to proceed? and to be at peace with that. We come to what's coming in, which is the Two of Cups. Now, it came out over here as well in one of the shadow cards, but this is about you joining forces with your higher self, with your spirit guides, to bring new opportunities. Here's another two. This is a Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about the opportunities that are provided to us from spirit, from our higher selves, from the cosmos, from God, whatever it is that you believe. But it's almost daring you to look out and just see the world as your oyster, if you will. Just see it in your mind's eye. What was it? It was under here, correct? Envision the sun, not the tower. Which is beautiful because this just pretty much explains the same thing. Envision opportunity, envision growth, envision having experiences that fit your destiny, that give you peace, and allows you to have the abundance that you so deserve, that it is your divine right to have in your journey, in your walk on this earth. And ultimately, by doing so, you end up with the World card, which is probably a pretty fascinating card to draw here, because you're literally seeing creation. You are being taught creation in these cards. What it's saying is, if you think it, you speak it, and you see it in your mind's eye, you can create it. And that's a beautiful thing. So see yourself, the world is your oyster. See yourself being at peace, having abundance, having that loving family, or whatever it is that you so desire. And know that you can manifest it. All it takes is practice. The bottom of the deck, that's beautiful. The bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Magician, Five of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. Now, what this says is that you need to have a different perspective in order to utilize the tools necessary. Anxiety, fear, anxiousness does not work. These things do not work with that. So this needs to be turned over. You need to let go of the anxiety, the fears, so that you can have that peace, love, and harmony that you so desire. You can do the work, Scorpio. That's beautiful. I really like that. Okay, Scorpio, that's it. I thank you very much. And please do like, share, subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel to grow. And also, by the end of the month, I'm going to have the last 6 months of 2022 up. Do comment in the comments below if you like this. And I wish you quite well. Peace.